It's June 9th. Good afternoon. I'm Julius Hearn with your evening kickstart from Barrie 360. Prime Minister Mark Carney vowed that his government will meet the minimum NATO defense spending commitment of 2% of the country's GDP this year. Carney said hitting the target this year will be half a decade ahead of schedule, that Canada depends too much on an increasingly unreliable United States for its defense, setting the table for future conversations on partnerships with European allies. Canada is currently spending just 1.45% of its GDP on defense and hasn't hit the 2% promise since 1990. Defense lawyers began presenting their final submissions for the 5 former Canadian World Junior Hockey Team members on trial for an alleged sexual assault in London, Ontario. The lawyer for Michael McLeod argued the complainant has presented a, quote, entirely unbelievable and unreliable version of what happened on the night in question. Prosecutors and lawyers for the other players will also have an opportunity to make submissions to the judge, who's also expected to set a date to deliver her ruling soon. Of the 60 municipalities surveyed nationwide, Barrie ranked 27th for asking rent, while as a whole, rent was down 3.3% across Canada in May. In Barrie, the average asking rent price for a one-bedroom apartment was at $1,887 per month, falling in line with the national decline for last month, and is a 4.2% drop from last year. Manitoba's Emergency and Management Minister Lisa Naylor says tourists should hit the pause button on visiting the province as the government works to accommodate about 21,000 wildfire evacuees. It's one of the largest evacuations in Manitoba's history. The province expects more people will have to flee as wildfire season continues. Edmonton and Florida meet in Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final with the series tied at 1. Oilers forward Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is a game-time decision with an undisclosed injury. Toronto Blue Jays open a 3-game set tonight in St. Louis. Jose Barrios will pitch for the Jays. Andre Palante goes for St. Louis. Montreal and Scarborough play in the CEBL. The Alliance enter tonight's game undefeated. Mainly cloudy tonight, risk of thunderstorms later on, low of 13. That's your evening kickstart for June 9th. Get notified of new episodes by subscribing to the daily and evening kickstarts on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify.